All right, giddy, hi and welcome. Okay, guys, the task is done. The guitar is tuned up, sort of. I'm gonna gotta let the strings kind of settle for a bit. Got the Mando there as well. Hopefully that gets you the whole thing in that. There's too many guitars in this room. I can't even move my feet. All right, so here's what I got going on. And I'll just kind of stick my flying V over here. And I put the cloth under because people are like, oh my god, don't put the headstock on the ground. I don't put the headstock on the ground. Okay, so it looks like these are going to be the only two instruments I can use for the gig because unless I can fix my Ibanez there, I just went to retune my Ibanez, and lo and behold, I just stripped out a tuner. What a nightmare! This is why you can't just rely on one guitar. Now, mind you, my Ibanez AEL 10 acoustic is well, I bought that in 2004, 2005, 2003, something like that. I'm pretty sure it was 2005. I'll say 2005 because that's kind of when I went into my previous gear buying frenzy. This 12 string I bought in, I want to say 2019. I can't believe it's been 4 years that I've had it. But the first year and a half was kind of the first 8 months it was glorious, but now it's like the pickup doesn't work on this side of the bridge, and intonation issues, which is normal with a 12 string to have intonation issues with the G string, the high tenergy. Tenergy, there's a word. But I'm going to try to see if I can fix that. If not, I'm going to have to take the G string off and just make it an 11 string guitar. It's very, very common to see 12 string acoustics with just 11 strings on them. And it's always the G string because people can't intonate it perfectly. It's just the way the cookie crumbles for a 12 string. The Mando, the strings on it, yeah, I'm going to change those. I'm going to change them now because even though I got 30 days till the 30 days till the gig, mandolins are one of those things where you change the strings on them, after your show for the next show, and then you give them a chance to settle, and like you got to play it for a little while. The neat thing about that mandolin, that's an M20 Epiphone mandolin, and it's an older one because it still says Gibson on the headstock, so that's probably around a 92 or 94. Got it for $200. One of the best playing mandolins I've ever. It's the best playing mandolin I've ever owned, and probably one of the best playing mandolins I've ever played. And to give you an idea of comparison, this $220, I think it was $222 all in with the tax and all. I've played mandolins like in the $5,000 range, okay? And I'm not saying this sounds better, but it plays as good as that, mandolins, and that's been, the Luthers have spared no expense. That's how good that thing plays. That's why I don't see myself getting rid. I just wish there was a way I could have it. I wish it was a. I wish there was a. Some electronics on it. I don't get that about mandolins. Almost every mandolin on the market is just an acoustic mandolin. Even the expensive ones. It's like, if people are going to buy a mandolin that's really expensive, like they don't want to have to carry microphones and stuff like that to, it's like, yeah, I want more mic stands on the stage and mics and, not be able to move around at all. It's like the technology's there. Make the acoustic electric, they got to make more acoustic electric mandolins. It's just do it. Do it already. You can keep a lot of the acoustics for the purists, but I mean, if you want to perform with them, you need to amplify them. So I got the strings on here. I've got the Dean pickup in. I'll give that a test. It's funny how equipment is like that. Ibanez, it literally just stripped out that's the second tuner to strip out of it in 20 years. But mind you, think about how much I've done with that other Ibanez acoustic guitar. That's a lot of shows, a lot of 20 years of beating on it, so, and tuning it up and tuning it down and everything like that. So I've got this in drop C sharp. It's like standard tuning, but I'm basically just two steps low. and that gives me the drop C sharp. So when I want to do a full drop C, no problem. I'm going to capo basically just at the second fret, and that'll give me my standard E standard tuning, which gives me movement for these songs that I'm going to be learning. I went through about 10 or 12 of them last night. All going to be easy songs to play chord wise. It's just remembering the hardest song I think out of, like, there's a few Willie Nelson, a few Johnny Cash, and most of the Johnny Cash is pretty repetitive, whatever. The Elvis one, My Way, there's a few little switch ups on the chords, but it's just variations on the chord patterns. So that's no problem. The one that's going to be the trickiest to remember, it's not hardest to play, like none of them are hard to play, but just to remember is it's called Summer Breeze by Frank Sinatra. And again, I'm a metalhead guy, right? So I've heard these songs before, maybe growing up and stuff like that, but I don't listen to that kind of music, like the Willie Nelson, Blue Eyes Crying. That one's going to be an easy one to play. Ghost Rider, that one I'm actually really excited to play that one. It's just, am I going to play it on the mandolin or am I going to play it on the 12 string? Ooh, who knows? Or maybe the bass. Who knows? This show is going to be interesting how we're going to do this. But the thing is that that Summer Breeze one, there's so many chord patterns in that song. It's almost like an improvised song. When you listen to it, it's like, okay, I think there was just the chords were just following along the vocal pattern, and there's no real, okay, like there's repeating themes, but like it's kind of it's all over the place. So just remembering what pattern to use where, that'll probably be the hardest song to remember. So if we do it, I might say, okay, well, I only got 30 days and I got, probably got to learn about 30 or 40 songs. The songs I already know, no problem, but and the other songs, most of them are going to be so straightforward that, okay, no problem. It's not a skills thing. It's remembering the melody and just learning the song. The Neil Diamond song called I Am Isad, and that one is pretty much the same three chords the whole way through, just kind of widdly diddly variations of finger picking on it. So, stuff like that is just going to be like a style thing more than, okay, how does the song go? Pretty straightforward. And then, like the Blue Eyes Crying is more of just getting the alternating thumb or pick pattern, like dung, dung, dung. It's country western, eh? So I'm a metal guy. I don't normally play country western, but I've jammed with lots of country western guys, and I've never had any issues with that. Okay, making sure my pickup isn't actually touching the strings. So anyway, I'm looking forward. It's nice to hear a nice fresh set of strings on the guitar, though. To me, the 12 string is the ultimate acoustic guitar. I know a lot of guys are hit and miss about 12 strings. They're harder to play, blah blah blah. If you can get them set up, like this one plays really well with the action the way I've got it set up. It's just I've might not have enough tension on the bridge to actually get the piezo on this, because there's two piezos in there, one on this side and one on that side, and it might not be enough pressure, and that's maybe why I can't use that's why I have to use this pickup, which doesn't sound great at all. But the guitar itself sounds great. So the issues I've had with this, I can't recommend this guitar, guys. It's a G30. I think these are hit and miss. You get a good one or you don't get a good one. My main issue with this is not being able to use electronics. The intonation issue is not as much, but the idea that the action just went like that after like 8 months. Like I know, crazy weather patterns here in Canada, going from the Chinese climate to the Canadian climate has got to be a shock for any system. So maybe I just didn't get wood that was dried enough or whatever, or just the humidity levels. Whatever. But other than that, this is a great sounding guitar. Very powerful sounding. The Dreadnought sound, I think, is my favorite sounding. And with that cutaway, you can do leads on this thing. Obviously, it gets harder when, doing leads up like here, but you can sort of do it. You know what I mean? And I get away with it. And now, one song we might be doing, in fact, I'm going to insist that we do, because he mentioned it, and I remembered that I did it myself, and I watched my own video, and it was Blue Rodeo's Bad Timing. Now, if I can pull this one off, I'm going to insist on this one being fully acoustic. I want him to play, if he knows how to play it, him to play his six string. I'll play my 12 string. And then at the end, near the end of the song, I'm going to extend it a little bit because that song you can extend it like crazy, and it's a real good. It's not a. It's kind of a sad song, kind of a feel good song, kind of a in between, right? It's like it's a really good breakup song, so to speak, or regret breakup song, whatever. But it's just really good. So right near the end, I'm going to switch from while he's still playing the acoustic, and I'm going to switch from the 12 string to the mandolin and take that song out with the mandolin. I think that would be just epic. So I'm like, I got 30 days to really nail what I'm going to do, and like I've been telling them, but until you show somebody what you're gonna like, your plans and stuff like that. Like I'm telling them, the more acoustic we go, the better it's going to be. But some of the stuff, if it's going to be like play-alongs with soundtracks in the background, that's going to be weird for me. I know a lot of metal bands do that, so I just don't know how I feel about it. Like I'm going to do it just because I want to play it live, and I don't really care what I'm playing. It's just, but I'm really one of those people. Like I really believe in the instrument standing on its own, meaning just one vocalist and whether it's the mandolin by itself. Like there's a lot of mandolin players don't think they can perform by themselves because they have to have an acoustic guitar behind them. I'm like, that's not the case at all. Uh, the mandolin can more than stand on its own. And that's also a creativity thing to have the acoustic guitar stand on its own. Um, if you listen to a lot of the old country western stuff, the Johnny Cash, like a lot of it is just the guitar